Now, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has rejected the recent petrol price hike from 568 naira to 855 naira, or in some places, 897 naira per litre. They say it will increase suffering for Nigerians, leading to higher costs of transportation, food, and also living. Now, the NLC demands a reversal of the price hike and release of arrested protesters. They see the government's decision as a betrayal and are willing to take action to protect workers' interests. Now, joining me on the show today, we have three guests. First of all, Ogbonna Ukuku will be joining us later. He is an investment and economic development consultant in Abuja. We also have Amechi Asugwuni. He's a former deputy president, NLC, and industrial and labor relations consultant, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. We also have Dr. Jospeh Obele, energy expert, former chairman of Ipman, Rivers State, joining us on the conversation today. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
All right, let's begin with Comrade. If you can hear me, what is your take on the NLC seeking reversal of price hike of PMS from the federal government?
From my own point of view, I want to believe what Nigeria Labour Congress has done by demanding a reversal is simply to tell you the mind of Nigerians with regards to the fuel hike. And I believe the price hike is disturbing because it's not suggesting that it will end soon. One problem that we are fit to solve in this country is how to make a product that we're supposed to be, we're supposed to enjoy advantage over it, considering the principle of comparative advantage. It's unfortunate. So we are now going back and forth every time we deregulate, we are still regulating. So I don't know. I don't know why government will say fuel subsidy is no more. They have deregulated the sector. We expected that, okay, they will be booming, there will be competition. They would have given multi-licenses to people to actually make product available. Surplusity eventually will crash the price. Unfortunately, we have continued with this old style of business with friends, business with people that can pay back to the same people that are in power. And there is no other way than to place a demand on the right of Nigerians. The welfare is being suffered by all of these inabilities on the side of government. And if they don't act, no other institution in Nigeria can issue such notice, and federal government will obey them. So we're in support, and we believe it should not end on paper. NLC should put its plan on the line in order to get members, because when we say members of Nigeria Labour Congress or affiliates, we're referring to ordinary Nigerians also whom you know. Today, price of petrol has moved upward to 1,150. In Port Harcourt, yesterday, some people sold in the night 1,003. And it's forbidden, because this is a product that even the River State, we should be having cheapest product price in Nigeria, especially in this side of the country. Unfortunately, it's even higher here because people are taking undue advantage of the scarcity, and that they are making mockery of the system. It's unacceptable.
All right, now
so
still on
the
that.
demand should be given attention.
Still on that, Comrade Asugwuni. Now, considering that Joe Ajaero is under the microscope with his invitation by the police under the charges of terrorism financing, criminal conspiracy, and the rest. Now, some people actually think that he should go underground and not, start up anything. Do you agree with that?
How can any good friend of Ajaero suggest that they should go on the ground? Anyone that loves Nigeria Labour Congress should commend the president by issuing such notice at a time that people expect him to be scared. Because we're talking about Nigerian workers, not Ajaero. That is a proof now that the allegation has no basis. Because if truly Ajaero has done something that negates the security of Nigeria, he should be by himself complying to hiding at this time. But coming out to issue notice tells you that this is the right time to confront the same government that thought they can pocket the NLC voice. For me, NLC should be advised that this time around, rather than ending their agitation on notice, they should proceed to go on the street. If federal government fails to do their obligation, because the police invitation, as you know, ended up without any proof of evidence against him, which all of us have condemned, that our security intelligence should actually reduce this kind of assault and more or less dent on our integrity as a nation. Because however you look at it, the other countries are watching the policing system of Nigeria, in which invitation can be extended to an institution like Nigerian Labour Congress without a concrete corresponding evidence awaiting the arrival of the NLC leadership. It was very unfortunate that they got there and they were talking about paperwork on the table. How do you link NLC president account to terrorist-related act? When you say funding, it means you have evidence of how NLC money or individual leadership of NLC money were linked to people that are sponsoring this move. Unfortunately, no evidence has been established to date. And I think it's the right time for NLC to actually show that they are not intimidated by that kind of unwarranted invitation.
All right, thank you, comrade, for that. Now, before we come to you, Dr. Obele, I'm told that Mr. Ogbonna Ukuku has actually joined us. He's an investment and economic development consultant from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Ukuku.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, now over to you, Dr. Obele. Now, let's have your thoughts on, the whole price hike when it comes to PMS and the fact that the NLC are asking for a reversal.
Let me start by reacting to the reversal call by the president of Nigerian Labour Congress. The dilemma I'm having as a person right now is the fact that most Nigerians have described Nigerian Labour Congress as toothless bulldogs. And I'm also one of them that have earlier described Nigerian Labour Congress as toothless bulldogs. So I want to confirm if we have a new angelic Nigerian Labour Congress or the earlier toothless bulldogs that under their watch, fuel was 97, it moved from 97 to 160. They were just backing. We got nothing out of that. Under their watch, fuel was about 160. It moved from 160 to 260. They were just backing as toothless bulldogs, like we described them. We got nothing out of that. Under their watch also, fuel moved from 260 to 700 naira. And they were just backing as toothless bulldogs, as have been described. We got nothing out of that. And same Nigerian Labour Congress are assuring us or threatening the federal government, calling for reversal. So I joined the rest of Nigerians by describing the present Nigerian Labour Congress as toothless bulldogs, saying it will be exercise in futility. We don't trust them, and we believe nothing will come out of their backing or they call for reversal. Being that as that may be, that they should dwell with that shame that fuel moved from 97 to as it is today. So I want to state here categorically that I don't trust them and nothing will happen. If federal government insists on making it stand, it will stand and nothing will happen. Recall that before now, the inflation of Nigeria was worrisome at 24%. And as we speak, Nigeria inflation is about 33.4%, and it's troubling. And also, in every economy, price of oil commodities revolves around a particular commodity. So here in Nigeria, price of oil commodities revolves around this product called PMS. So whatever happens to PMS, it will affect logistics, it will affect transportation, it will affect the food ingredients in the market, it will affect health, it will affect every aspect of life. It will affect the SMEs, which are the main drivers of any economy. So I'm saying, we are still lamenting at the rate of 860. Recall on May 29th last year, Mr. President, in his inaugural speech, made a speech, says subsidy is gone. Arising from that, Nigerians have been experiencing untold hardship, and we are yet to recover from that present untold hardship. And same Nigerian Labour Congress went to adopt 70,000 naira for a minimum wage, and Nigerians are still lamenting about that. Now fuel is moving from 860 to 1,000. It is unbearable. Yesterday, we as marketers, I'm a marketer, I own a retail outlet. Marketers were buying at 960, 980 from third parties as of yesterday. And marketers have a platform called NNPC Buying Portal, where we buy at 566 per litre, 566 naira per litre. It will interest you to know that for 98 days today, that portal has been shut down. And marketers have been buying from third parties, giving this product by NNPC. If you give to the marketer at 566, this marketer will sell less than 600 naira. But now marketers are buying from third parties.
Do you have an idea why that portal was shut down?
The portal was shut down with a message. We have about 24,000 marketers on that portal. And there's a message, once you click to that portal, there's a message on that portal saying, sorry, we are out of stock. Sorry, we are out of stock. Stock is not available. And we are saying, NNPC is so important, has a stock with third parties, selling to marketers at 950, but marketers that should buy at that portal at 566. The portal is giving us a message. Whenever you open, it is giving us a message. Don't just hear this from me. I say we have 24,000 marketers on this portal. And there's a message inscribed on the portal saying, sorry, we are out of stock. But stock belonging to NNPC is with third parties selling to marketers at 950. What is wrong with us Nigerians? How come we are not asking questions, Nigerians? How come people will not ask? How come the portal is not open for marketers? How come marketers that should buy from you are not buying from third parties? There are a lot, but I'm joining the rest of Nigerians to call. We don't trust Nigerian Labour Congress. We don't believe them. We don't depend on them. Our future is not in their hands because they will trash.
Okay, Dr. Obele. Now, you know, one of the other reason, you know, that there's this scarcity, according to the NNPC, is that they're in debt. They owe international oil traders approximately $6 billion. And is that a possibility as to why our fuel supply chain is also being affected?
Let's be sincere to ourselves. The landing cost of PMS, as at yesterday, are rising from some external variables. Could be the Gaza, Israel war, could be the Russia, and scarcity of dollar and the rest. Was close 1,300 naira per litre. And NNPC is not a charitable organization. So hence NNPC has been importing at 1,002 and 1,300 naira per litre, selling at 600 naira. The sincere truth is that this is becoming unbearable for them. It's becoming worrisome for them, the landing cost of PMS. And we are asking, why will you be crying that landing cost is becoming too much? I've been issue. Who shut down our refinery? Who imported the oil-spec PMS 3 years ago to Nigeria? Who ordered that our refinery should be shut down? Who is that officer that was supposed to do what and refused to do? And 4 Nigerian-owned refineries, the 2 in Rivers State, 1 in Warrior and 1 in Kaduna, has been at the dormant state for over years today. So we don't have to pity NNPC crying that the landing cost.
But those refineries are also on the verge of being privatized as well. That's the worry. Let
me put this to you. Let me put this. What they describe as a debt is their refusal to describe as fuel subsidy, because the word of Mr. President should be his bond. Hence, Mr. President have said subsidy is gone. No officer of the federal government will come and describe that debt as subsidy. But I want to put to you, they call it recovery. That recovery is fuel subsidy in disguise. But they don't want to call it that name, fuel subsidy. But it's fuel subsidy, you are aware. So you don't expect them import at the rate of 1,200, 1,300 naira per litre and sell at 600. That is just the sincere truth. And that's the scenario facing us right now as a nation. So we can't pity them. They should keep importing. What is the welfare package they have for Nigerians? So if subsidy remains the only benefit, Nigerians should benefit from the federal government. They should go ahead and start keep paying. They shouldn't lament further, please.
All right. Let's hear from Mr. Ukuku. Now, you've heard what both our guests have actually said. But then, in light of the harsh realities being faced, what is your position on the government's claim that fuel subsidy removal is necessary for economic growth and development as an economist?
Said something that was very interesting. He said that the landing cost of petroleum product PMS is at 1,200, 1,300 naira. Now, if NNPC is now a limited liability company, they should run as such. Yes, the economic hardship will bite. Now, because you have to ease up liquidity for other productive use in a nation. You have to oil the wheel of productivity in your nation. You have to build infrastructure. You have to support even paying the workers as agreed. Now, if that must happen, the reality is we must have those funds. So everybody says, oh, let's allow subsidy to remain. You can't allow subsidy to remain. Then number two, people that want to come and do business in your client will never subscribe to any ecosystem that has subsidy in it. Because
But they're
one,
still paying
when
subsidy. The government is still paying subsidy.
now, so if the government has come out to say they are still paying subsidy, I am not aware of that, but I've not even looked at their books to understand why they would still be paying subsidy if that is what it has come to. So I think we should come to a point where we should tell ourselves the truth. Somebody once said, the price we're buying petroleum products, these issues are just major cities. Outside the major cities, Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and so, petroleum products are sold higher than those announced, cost. So mine is, can we now begin to look at ourselves and then hold ourselves accountable, not just the government. Now, everybody says, okay, who ran the refinery down? Who did? Are they not members of NLC? Are they not members of, are they not labor? Are they not workers? These are not politicians. These are workers in this nation. I'm still waiting for that day when Nigerians will go on strike because somebody refused to do his or her job. So, I mean, politicians, PDP has come, they are gone. APC is now the one in government. The only thing that has remained constant in the system is actually the workers. So the workers should come back and tell us, why is it that the refineries are not working? But I'm not here to even discuss all those blame games. The most important thing is, if we have to bite the bitter pill to get well, can we just bite it and get well? What I expect from NNPC is to have constant communication with Nigerians. They need to tell us, this is what the issue is. This is where we are. It's not a secret cult. Because it's a commonwealth. Because it's commonwealth, they're liable to us. They're answerable to us. They should come out daily or weekly to explain to us what is happening to our commonwealth. Now we're going to have some breather as far as refineries are concerned, like the Dangote refinery and the promises that they've made with the refineries in Warri and Port Harcourt. But the reality remains, if you want investors to come into your space, you must remove the hand of subsidy out of it. We must have enough people, you must have that clarity. That ease of doing business can only function when there's efficiency in your system. See, investors are interested in few things. One, resources, natural or human resources. They are interested in market. That's your population that have disposable income. They are interested in strategic assets. So we still have strategic assets, both existing and non-existing strategic assets, where they want to come and invest. But the biggest problem, which is the denominator of the entire thing I've said here, is number 4, which is efficiency in your system. If you look at countries like Singapore and New Zealand, these are countries that come first and second when it comes to ease of doing business. You see that it is seamless for you to do business in those countries. So what do we do so that we'll have the right environment for people to come and do business? Because nobody will have his or her money and want to come and be playing, and then somebody has to come and wait for somebody to pay. No, nobody does that. So like I said, if we have to swallow the bitter pill, let's swallow it. But please, NNPC should come out and tell us exactly how long we need to swallow it so that we can plan with that.
Okay. Comrade, you actually heard what Dr. Obele and Mr. Ukuku has actually said. One of them said that workers need to be held accountable. They need to hold themselves accountable. That's Mr. Ukuku saying workers need to hold themselves accountable, and that they are the reasons that the refineries actually ran down. And also, Dr. Obele has actually accused the NLC of being toothless bulldogs. I would love for you to actually comment on that briefly, just before we go to the main question, the next question.
One, NLC has been described by my friend. That is his perception. It's just like he told us here that there are 34,000 or 24,000 marketers. We have not seen them also proceed on a protest. If you have 34,000 to protest against a policy, I believe government will also hear them. NLC is governed by its own constitution. NLC protect the interests of its members. NLC was not or is not established as second in command to federal government. NLC is playing extraordinary role by providing coverage in that regard. That is why you see each time they issue notice, there is a lot of expectation from ordinary Nigerians that if we can use NLC platform to get government to change. And most times you see when NLC push for change of policy, NLC may get additional pay. That salary, for example, the 70,000 will not be given to all Nigerians. It's limited to members of NLC or other affiliates of NLC. So I think we should get this understanding that NLC was not elected by Nigerians. NLC was elected by workers. It's only workers have the right to speak about the capacity of their leadership, not a marketer in the oil sector. You are talking based on your interests. NLC
all right,
does not consider your interest as a marketer.
All right,
then when you talk about who should be accountable, sorry, madam, when they talk about who is accountable, NLC, we're talking about workers. Workers have limited rights in a place of work. Employers provide work for you to do as a worker. So when you talk about closure of refinery, a worker has no input in it. Because workers must comply to rules. We should be focused in asking government to make provision they put on their obligation in such that there will be a framework. You know, I've always advocated, let there be a time frame. Things are getting out of hand. Mr. President should tell Nigerians that I have subsidy if at all they can withstand. Give us 6 months to put ZIY in place, and then things will work normal. Refineries will start working by so date. They've given like 2 timelines. It didn't work for refinery to commence. Things are falling apart. We shouldn't shift blame among institutions. Let's focus our blame on the driver of this country.
All right, comrade. Thank you for that. Now, when you talked about minimum wage, Joe Ajaero actually said that the federal government had put them in a tight spot, you know, by giving them devil's alternatives or even options between the fuel price increase and 250,000 naira as minimum wage, which they settled for 70,000 naira. Now, how would you advise, or how can the NLC balance their demands for a fuel price reduction with the need to protect workers' interests in other areas such as minimum wage implementation and also, you know, in job security as well?
He has one option. There's no need of more or less sharing the blame of having signed 70,000. Somebody who was earning 30,000 and you are getting over 100% of your wage, it's not a bad market considering the struggle that gave birth to it. What is the problem now is the inability of government to stabilize the economy, to make that 70,000 have a meaning in the society. And therefore, the continued request by Congress to enable federal government play its role by moderating a lot of variables that will give birth to reduction of price of commodities. Since the fuel price is almost the determinant for services and commodities in Nigeria, then we must do everything possible. They shouldn't be working on pride. If federal government come out today and say, in the next 6 months, we are going to be paying subsidy, because they are paying subsidy. So I don't even know what they call subsidy and what they call recovery. Nigeria is still paying subsidy given by the indices in the cash flow. And I believe that what Nigeria Labour Congress must do and should continue is to make incessant demand of this reversal or reduction.
Hello, Comrade Asugwuni. All right, we seem to have lost him. Well, let's move on to Dr. Obele. Now, Dr. Obele, from our conversation, you seem sympathetic, you know, towards the plight of what Nigerians are actually going through, towards the plight they're facing, and they seem to be at the receiving end, no doubt. So Nigerians are actually asking a lot of questions as to what they're facing at the moment. We actually had correspondents. We have correspondents in some states. They went round and they found out that some of these independent filling stations are selling petrol at higher price, even higher than the NNPC. That's the NNPC-owned stations. So Nigerians are asking why that is, and why are some filling stations even shut down despite having petrol in stock?
Okay, I would have liked the comrade to be here I want to respond to what
No,
he said
there'll be no
regarding
need
the.
for that. He can actually
No, no,
hear
no.
you.
He mentioned, please allow me to say this, please. He mentioned that Nigeria should give them standing ovation for signing 70,000 as a salary minimum wage, that it was 30,000 and it moved to 70, that we should applaud them for that. Good, I can put my hands together by applauding them. But before I do that, let me remind you that when the minimum wage was 18,000 naira, a bag of rice was 5,000. While minimum wage was 30,000, a bag of rice was 11,000, 9,000. Now that they signed 70,000, a bag of rice is 90,000. So let's clap for them. Let's applaud them. They did a good job moving salary from 30,000 to 70. It was a great job. But what they signed cannot buy a bag of rice. So what's the yardstick? What's the template? What's the parameter for them to sign 70,000 and putting to us that moving salary from 30,000 to 70 was a good job? Applause, we celebrate with standing ovation. Now, let me come back to your question. I said to you that there is a portal called NNPC buying portal established by the MD of NNPC Retail Limited, Mr. Stockman, Hob Stockman, he's a white man. And he came up with an innovation that before marketers would buy manually, he said, no, it should be an online portal. And we accepted it. The portal has been running for about 4 years now. So marketers buy from NNPC on the portal. And now I'm saying to you, the portal has been shut down for 98 days today. Once you open the portal right from your phone, in the comfort of your home, you will say, sorry, we are out of stock. And we are aware that the sole importer of this product to our nation, Nigeria, is NNPC. The products owned by NNPC are not available for the first parties being with their direct buyers, their direct off-takers. But the products are in the hands of third parties. And we are buying from a third party allocated same product sold by NNPC. And these third parties, yesterday, we bought at 950 from Lagos. And it will cost you 2.5 million for you to truck it from Lagos to Port Harcourt. But in Port Harcourt, a truck is about 300,000. So now look at 2.5 million for trucking from Lagos, and you bought this product at 950. Ordinarily on this portal is 566, 566 naira per litre. But NNPC have shut down the portal, and hence they are giving this product to third parties or fourth parties. And we marketers are seeing this product in the hands of third or fourth parties and buying from them at outrageous cost. Fellow Nigerians, no person should blame marketers or owners of retail outlet, filling station owners at the rate of which they are buying. But they should blame NNPC management, and they should blame whoever is selling to marketers at this rate. For marketers are not seeing this product at 566.
Oh, okay. Now, with the economic crunch and the pain and suffering that so many people are actually going through, and this is for you, Mr. Ukuku. So many people have been talking about, leaving the country, especially the workers, which has also been made difficult for them to do, but they really don't mind, going the extra mile to leave the country. What would be the repercussions of a labor exodus or brain drain on the economy at this point in time, and also on development prospects, especially if skilled workers choose to migrate to other countries when they feel that their interests are not being represented?
Brain drain is an ongoing process that have always occurred in Nigeria since 1983 during the military time. That won't cripple the nation, whether you like it or not. The reality is, yes, there are new people being trained to do the job so no person is indispensable as far as a nation is. But that's not my first take on the matter. The reality is, yes, people are not happy. People are facing the hardship of the realities that we are faced with. But one thing is very sure, where you are going to, how are you sure that you're going to be more comfortable there? So it's just like, the grass looking greener on the other side. My take will be, like I said, if we all had ways to communicate with each other, if we had ways to tell each other what the simple realities are, it won't change. It will only, like my people will say, it's only that a war that was, if a war is coming and if an information is given, the first sons never die, because that a war is coming, that you can protect your first son, because that is the heir to the throne if anything goes wrong. So what I'm trying to say in essence is there's so much that has to do with, public enlightenment, being able to, and then the people, our people and those in leadership should pay attention to being able to get our economy to become productive. And it's not just it's everybody's job really, because like I said earlier in my opening shot, if peradventure we begin to find people go on strike because somebody was bullied because the person refused to do the right thing, then you can now see that there's this followership that will come with those kind of comrade movements. But when it's still about how to eat, how to feed, everybody's still talking about as if we're all children. Let's discuss productive. What are the things that will make us productive? Yes, if there's this mass exodus, there'll still be people who will want to come here because whether you like it or not, there are people who are still looking for that opportunity so that they can do the right thing. But I mean, on a larger scale, the way to grow an economy is to continue to build the entire ecosystem, be it infrastructure, be it education, be it training. Look at when Dangote was building his refinery. If you just go and watch the documentary, what he went through just to hire people that had the capacity to build those refineries. At first, he was spending so much money importing people because a lot of our engineers who are trained in Nigeria, because of the skill gap that exists, because we had no refinery for many years, he had to start bringing people from outside because we didn't have people that had such skill sets. So if that gap begins to exist, I mean, I'm going back to the question you asked earlier. That will mean that you still have to spend a whole lot to now retrain people who have the capacity of those who are leaving. But whether we like it or not, the truth is there is never a vacuum in life. As you are leaving, people will be filling in, and then baby steps, they will still learn, and then the cycle continues. But the truth is, older people, younger people, there has to be that sit down. We all need to agree on what we need to do to move the country forward. We have so much. The gift, what I call lifelines given to us as a nation is so much that sometimes we don't have any reason being where we are as a nation. We have no reason whatsoever. I mean, I can sit down here and tell you every single thing that we need to do, starting from the blue economy, IT. Whatever, there's so much to do. The solid mineral sector is untapped as a nation. We've not done anything. We're just scratching the surface, and that's why you see people are scrambling. There's so much poverty because we have not been able to take charge of our lifelines. I give you a very simple example before I drop it. Let me give you a very simple example. There's something we play with in this country so much that is actually contributing 4% of the GDP of a country, Botswana. Botswana is one of the largest exporters of beef to the European Union. And we are here making noise about how cows will trek from one place to another, and we have not been able to take charge. In Botswana, as we speak, a cow, 4 cow legs sold for 500 pula. That's with the current exchange, it will be about 8,500 naira.
So Nigeria needs to look into non-oil exports.
Yes, pay attention to certain things that should help us grow.
All right.
That we even generate jobs.
Mr. Ukuku, we'll definitely come back to that. But for now, we'll have to take a quick break, gentlemen. And when we come back, the show continues. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on the conversation. So just before the break, we were speaking to Mr. Ogbonna Ukuku, Investment and Economic Development Consultant, Amechi Asugwuni, former Deputy President, NLC and Industrial and Labor Relations Consultant, Port Harcourt, and also Dr. Jospeh Obele, energy expert and former chairman of Ipman Rivers State, on the current fuel scarcity. Now, let's come back to you, comrade. If you're still with us, comrade. Now, there was an interview with the Petron president, that's the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association, and he had suggested that Nigerians should prepare for higher petrol prices. Now, what do you think would happen if prices go any higher?
The higher the price of petrol, the higher the reaction of Nigerians. No doubt. The hunger protest that we experienced a few weeks ago is also not far from the kind of protest that we expect to emerge, not necessarily from Nigeria Labour Congress. And I want us to begin to give this allowance that freedom and the right to protest is given by the Constitution to Nigerians, not Congress. Worker strike is different from protest. Protest is like an act, it's like a democratic tool given to Nigerians to check those incidents. And I believe should this fuel price continue without a corresponding check or reaction from federal government to curtail it, because the problem I have with government is when somebody tells you that it's on top of the situation without telling you how long that situation will last, then it amounts to deceit. So that is why some of us have said that anytime there is a protest to push government to reverse or correct a wrong policy or hardship on Nigerians, the issue of 2 days, 3 days, 10 days is immaterial. Protest until something is done. I don't believe in this act of 2 days warning protest. It suggests weakness. And I believe both on the Nigeria Labour Congress, both on Nigerians, because some people can actually criticize, condemn, but has never been on street one day to resist any policy of government. Some of us have led protests in the past strongly to the extent that when workers tell you that no alert, no going back, that is the kind of spirit that we want to see this time around. So that it's not just against government, it's about pushing them to realize and also come back to track. Because most times the president may not feel what we feel. When you go to the ordinary street, that is where you now know that a loaf of bread now is sold at 2,018.17. It's unacceptable. So I agree that prices of product has gone up. The information that is going to go higher is already seen by the analysis and the indices. Variables have shown in the economic table that prices will go up because there is nothing showing that they are being controlled. And as a result, we're even having scarcity that will eventually escalate the price upward. Not just soon, but too soon. It's unfortunate, and I believe all Nigerians must say no to this kind of hardship, and the right policy should be put in place to correct the abnormal.
All right, let's come to you, Dr. Obele. Now, we would love for you to actually speak about the Petron president saying that Nigerians should also get ready, that the chances of the price of PMS, going up, that's higher than this, is just by the corner. And also about the NNPC's role as supplier of last resort. Now, do you think that Dangote making NNPC sole distributor, will change the fluctuations and also the crisis being faced with fuel availability and also pricing?
You see, the call by Prince Gilly Harris, the Petron president, he's timely. And I join him in adding voice by saying that Nigeria should buckle up for higher price of PMS. But the issue is not really higher price of PMS. My brother here did mention that the call for subsidy removal should be a thing for everyone. Yes, I led the advocacy for removal of fuel subsidy. But the issue was an issue of timing. All the stakeholders, call it Nupeng, call it Ipman, Pengasar, and the rest, we actually supported that subsidy should be removed. But we said, no, it's an issue of timing. And we stated that it should be removed when all the Nigerian-owned refineries are functional. Recall that the premium refinery in Nigeria, the first refinery with a capacity of 55,000 barrels per day at Eleme here in Rivers State, has been shut down for 29 years today. And the Warri refinery, the Kaduna refinery, with the production capacity of 100,000 barrels per day, has been shut down for 23 years today. And also the Warri refinery, 6 years, and the biggest, which is 200,000 capacity per day, here in Rivers State, also the second refinery in Rivers State, has been shut down for 6 years. And adding this four together is a production capacity of 450,000 barrels per day. And we have been saying that government should remove subsidy, but it should be removed when all the Nigerian-owned refineries are functional at optimal capacity. Let me put this to you. The components that constitute what we call landing cost today, where the cost of PMS today, are 7 components. And when we are refining locally, 5 of these components will be eliminated. So price will not be the same. Price will not be. Mr. President was in a hurry. It was e-timing for him to have pronounced subsidy is gone as at 29 May, when the refineries wasn't functional. Relying on depending on the international market, we will be trapped by some external variables. Like now, the issue, the bomb blast at within Russia and Ukraine, the one of Gaza and Israel is really affecting the high sea. A lot of vessel owners have shut down operations. So hence it's affecting the landing costs. So if we are producing locally, but we've done an analysis and we stated that when Nigerian refineries are functional, we put in all cost variables, fixed costs together, Nigerians will buy fuel less than 400 naira per litre. So why remove subsidy when you're relying on external variables? It could have been internal variables that are controllable. Then in that regard, Nigerians will be buying fuel less than 400 naira per litre. So why Billy Harry, the national president of petrol, mentioned that he is relying on the external variables at the international market. And it's obvious that Nigerians should buckle up so long as we keep relying on the international market. And let me put this to you. By proxy, I'm from the host community, at least where the ongoing rehabilitation is ongoing. And I'll put this to you. They are done with technical repairs, they are done with mechanical repairs, they are done with instrumental repairs, they are done with civil repairs. Yet, they kept giving us several days for the commencement of production, and it hasn't come to the light of day. And I want to state this categorically. So long as private tank owners are still smiling to the banks, it will be difficult for refineries to be functional.
All right, Dr. Obele, now if you say that about our refineries, Dr. Obele, now I actually asked about the Dangote refinery as well, which, you know, they've actually said that they will soon be rolling out PMS. Is the refinery, that's the Dangote refinery, is it enough for the country to transition into self-sufficiency when it comes to fuel production?
My biggest worry about Dangote refinery commencement of production of PMS was his statement yesterday. I don't know if you heard the statement. He said, I am waiting. I am depending on the federal government to fix price. That is the biggest error in the history of Nigeria economy. If Mr. President have stated last year, 29th May, that subsidy is gone, invariably he's saying the sector is not deregulated. And in a deregulated economy, no man, no matter how big you are, high or low, has the right to template a price. A price should be fixed by variables or by factors of demand and supply, and that Nigerians will benefit more. How dare we Dangote mention to us that federal government will fix price? Where are we Nigerians?
Oh, okay, let's hear Mr. Ukuku's thoughts on that, you know, and what Dangote has actually said on waiting for the federal government to fix price. What do you have to say about that?
There's a big error.
The simple thing is the dynamism around the entire supply chain. Now, if Dangote does not have the infrastructure or the structure to distribute fuel, it's still NNPC that will, right? And if NNPC will be the ones that will do the distribution, the cost matrix have to be, you know, coupled before a price will be given, because he was asked how much are you going to sell. So it's fully dependent on those who have what it takes to move those petroleum products to even the marketer that is speaking, that is on this panel speaking, knows that there are other dynamics around it. So he can say what he said. He's not wrong saying what he said, because he doesn't have the reticulation structure or the infrastructure to distribute petroleum product to everybody. So he has to work with those who have the structure. Now, is it going to be dealing with those tank farm owners? Of course, he probably wouldn't want to go into those kind of politics, because he also mentioned it here. As far as those guys are around, they are available. Some of them are still owing banks. They borrowed money, or people's money, to build those tank farms. So whether you like it or not, you see, it's an ecosystem that needs a lot of cleanup. And for that cleanup to happen, there has to be a lot of intervention from the government. But this has to be done strategically. But for me, like I said, at every point in time as a development finance person, I can tell you that there are few things we can use those things for if they are not going to be useful anymore. Those things will become a support base for our export corridor. But I'm not even going to go into all of that. But it's something that government needs to sit down and work things out with these people. Because whether you like it or not, there are finances that are, you know, there are debt capital that are going to be there if Dangote the functionality of moving this petroleum product to everyone.
Mr. Ukuku, now still on the Dangote Refinery, now what measures do you think should be taken to ensure that the commencement of the fuel production by this refinery impacts the Nigerian economy and that it benefits, or the benefits are even equitably distributed?
It's just transparency. First things first, Dangote, the feedstock that Dangote will be receiving, the cost should be made clear. Everybody should know how much feedstock is being given to the crude oil that he's receiving, what quantity he's receiving, because it's now a national matter. So everybody should know. And then the distribution channel, how much he is now going to be giving it back to NNPC, just the way they are doing this swap. But it's just that, like my colleague said, some of those variables will be taken out, about 7 of those variables will be taken out. So the transparency is just what we need. If everything is transparent, then the marketers know how much, everybody knows how much the marketers are receiving. So everybody knows how much, because the premium is very clear. These premiums, they are not hidden. It's when you you cover things in secrecy, then when people can, take advantage of ignorance and begin to sell products at, prices that are absurd and abnormal. But these things can be done with that clear transparency, just like the NNPC retails started to do with that platform. So they should extend that platform now. So knowing that we're dealing with a local refinery, so as soon as they receive the refined product, we know how much they are receiving the refined products from Dangote. Okay. Then also we know, we add do the plus and minus, work out the entire matrix and then know how much every Nigerian should be buying petroleum products.
All right. Now, Comrade Asugwuni, let's have your final thoughts in 1 minute, please.
My take on this is I don't totally agree that President or federal government should fix price for Dangote, because we are trying to see how the removal of subsidy can gain its consistency. And if you are removing subsidy and we are allowing Dangote because Dangote even partnering with federal government suggests to you they anticipated the corruption that they want to also start to enjoy. And that is to tell you that, okay, how much do you want me to sell? And then I backcharge the remaining to federal government, including surplusity. And then another pause is created. I've never believed that Dangote Refinery is the measure to control price in Nigeria, because Dangote can also choose to export its product, and that will also negate the expectation of lowering price. Dangote Refinery is not our refinery. That is a private-owned refinery. Nigeria refineries from Delta to Rivers to Kaduna should be put to work, and the time frame should not be far from now. That is the only evidence that suggests that price of product will actually crash down. On anything outside this is just theory.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, Dr. Obele, let's have your final thought in 1 minute too.
Okay, my final thought is to charge you or to commission you as investigative journalists to invite a spokesperson of NNPC Retail Limited on this platform to discuss why the marketers buying platform at 560s was shut down for 98 days today. Because if marketers are buying at 560s, this price of 1,000 will be eliminated. How come marketers are buying from third parties? So I charge you the next 1 or 2 days, invite me and a representative of NNPC Retail Limited to know if I'm lying to the general public, that the portal has not been shut down, to know if marketers are not buying from third parties. I commission you and I'm waiting for your call. All
right, we'll look into it, definitely. Mr. Ukuku, your final thoughts in 1 minute?
Okay, so mine is the process that we have started to begin to add value to our raw material is one of the best things. So if we have started to add value by having Dangote refined petroleum products, so we should do that when it comes to gas, because the issue we're having with petroleum products, after a while, it will occur in gas. And if we don't take time, it will occur in solid minerals, as is already occurring in agri sector. So this whole taking charge of our natural resources and making the best out of it should be our focus as a nation.
All right. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. We appreciate you for your time and for speaking so excellently and in-depthly on this issue. Ogbonna Ukuku, Investment and Economic Development Consultant, Amechi Asugwuni, former Deputy President, NLC and Industrial and Labor Relations Consultant, and also Dr. Jospeh Obele, Energy Expert, former Chairman of Ipman Rivers State. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Nigeria's fuel crisis is a sign of bigger problems in the NNPC and Dangote Refinery. Now, to fix it, we need to change how institutions work, be transparent with money, and plan refinery operations and market integration well. If we don't make these changes, then the fuel crisis will continue, causing economic instability and public unhappiness. So we need to hold both the government and private sector accountable and focus on efficiency and sustainability to resolve the crisis and restore trust in Nigeria's economy and governance. And with that, we say a big thank you for watching today's episode of The Conversation. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. Bye for now.